Okay, so I'm going to make a new video since everyone is really struggling with this. This is old, and there's a lot of newer buttons and stuff that they've added to Blender since this video was made. And I'm just going to make it as one video instead of cutting it into two. So, actually, I'll cut it into two. I'll have one where you actually make the letters and separate them out. And then I'll have one where you're actually moving the letters into place. So I'll make two. All right, the first thing you need to do is open up Blender. Now we can go here and we can go to, we're in our 2D animation. I always zoom out a little bit so I can see my whole canvas. Just hold Command and then slide your finger on the mouse like it's a trackpad, and that'll let you slide it out. So the first thing we need to do is we need up here, we're in draw mode, we need to go to object mode. And we're going to add an object. We're going to add text. And it says that our text is added over here, but it is, you just can't see it because it puts it like on the flat plane. So if you slide your finger on the mouse like it's a trackpad, you can slide up here. And now if we click on the rotate and you kind of click just on the rotate a little bit, you'll see that this changes to rotate down here. Now don't click off of it or else this will go away. But you can click on that and then say rotate the angle 90 degrees. And then click on your little camera view, and so now you can see the text. So a couple things you'll want to do with your text. The first thing that I always do is I want it centered. So I'll do center for alignment instead of left align. And then I'm going to give it a color. So my color is going to be red because I'm doing a Christmas themed font. So now I have, there we are, it's red. Now, if you want to change your font, here, I'll change it first. I'll change the text. So in order to be able to change the text, you actually need to go into edit mode. And then there you'll see the little cursor over there. So I'm going to just delete. And I'll do my name. Now, if we go back to the text icon right here, we can change our font. And Blender doesn't really have any fonts. It just has the default Arial. So you have to download one if you want a different one. And here's the sites you can go to, 1001 free fonts or urban fonts. The only thing you need to worry about when you go to one of these sites is you don't want anything where the letters are touching each other. So this is like a cursive style. You definitely don't want that. This would be a really good one because it's going to be really easy to draw a box around each letter individually. This one where it's all curvy, that one's going to be a little more challenging because, you know, this M kind of gets above this B a little bit here. So if I'm trying to draw a box just around this B, it's going to be kind of hard to do that. So think about that when you are picking out a font. Same thing with this one. This is all kind of over the place. So you wouldn't want to get a font like that. But I've got this Christmas font. So I'll go back to my fonts here, and I'll click on my font downloads, and I downloaded this Christmas Eve one, so I'll just put that in there. And so now you can see that my font is in there. If I click off of it, you can see what it's actually going to look like. And if I click back on my text, now it's selected. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do is in object mode, you'll click on Object, Convert, and convert it to a mesh. If you convert it to grease pencil, like the original video says, it messes it up most of the time. Sometimes it'll still work, but for most fonts, it messes it up. And so now, if I go into edit mode, you can see, if I zoom in, there's all these little bitty dots. And those are my vertices that actually make up the letters. And if I was to draw a box around it, you see that some of the dots turn orange, but some of them stay black. And that's because some of them are actually behind the other dots. So it's only going to select the dots that are in front unless you turn something on. So you need to turn on, let me just click off here so I'm not selected to that. You need to turn on this over here where it says toggle X-ray. And that will allow you to select things that are behind other things. And so now if I draw my box around, everything turns orange. which means it's all selected. So now that I have everything selected for the M, I'm going to click P on my keyboard and then say separate by selection. And you notice now I have a new little text here, and it says text.001. Well, I don't like that name, so I'm just going to double click on it, and I'm going to just give it a capital M, enter, and because that's my M. Now I'm going to do the same thing for this R. I'm going to select all of those vertices, and then I'm going to push P and then selection, and we made another one, text.001. So if I go there, I'm just going to name it R, enter. And now, if you can see, I'm going to switch back over to edit mode just to show you guys real quick. If I click on the M and I click on the move, if I move the M, it moves just that letter now. So now this is how you move each one individually. So I'm going to go back to edit mode because I wasn't done separating everything. I'm going to click on my text. Now I'm going to highlight. Hold on here. Let me go back to object mode. Let me select text. Then I'll go to edit mode. Okay, there we go. And so now I'm going to select the period. I'll push P, selection. That made a text.001. I'm going to change that to period, enter. And then I'm going to do the L, P by selection. Change that to a capital L, enter. Then here, these E's are close together, so you got to be real careful here when they're close together like this, because you don't want to select any of the other letters. Okay, good. And it looks like I've got a clean selection. I'll just zoom in, and yep, it looks good. So I'll push P again by selection. Now double click this. Now I'll put E1 for this one because I have 2 E's in my name. And then I'll do my last one here. Oop, that wasn't good. There we go. P, selection, and this one will be E2. Enter. So now if I go back to object mode and I zoom in and out here, let me zoom back out a little bit. So I have E2 selected. I can move that one. I have E1 selected. I can move that one. I have L selected. I can move that one. I have period selected. I'm just testing them all to make sure everything works properly. And M. So everything looks like it's working great. So this would be a really good point to save because everything after this is just you animating the letters. So I'm going to pause the video here. Oh, and make sure when you save, so do File, Save As. Make sure you know where you're saving it to. So like make a desktop and then maybe make a folder on your desktop that's like Blender files or something like that. And then you can name it down here and then click save. And it's always a good idea every time you save to put like a different name. So like if I was to do add/animate text 1 and then add/animate text 2, that way if you ever make a mistake, you don't have to start over from scratch. You can go back to the last save and start from there.